Hey y'all, welcome back. This is going to be a really important live stream. And I already know a lot of people in the Black community and maybe outside of the Black community are going to be able to relate to this. And I'm talking to everybody, but I guess I'm talking to millennials, but I think I'm really talking to Gen Z right now. I'm talking to Gen Z because a lot of us in the Black community, our parents don't believe in mental health. They don't believe in therapy. They don't get us help with our trauma. They don't even talk to us about childhood, SA or any kind of A. Like, it's not even a discussion. Like, we are very unprotected, a lot of us children in the Black community. So, without further ado, I'm going to talk about why you need to stop trauma dumping to the wrong people. And just to get it out of the way, there are places for you to trauma dump. And where are those places? Number one, that place is your therapist. If you cannot afford a therapist, number two, that place is your journal. That place is your journal. Okay. And those are really the only two places. I literally don't even recommend you trauma dump to friends because we live in a day and time where you don't even know who your real friends are. Like, people will take your vulnerabilities for weakness. These are the days that we're living in. You will be vulnerable with a friend, so-called friend, and they will exploit it and use it against you. And this is exactly what I think has happened to Krishan Rock and Taseki. Now, to get the elephant out of the room, do I believe the allegations against Taseki? Yes, I do believe them. This is like super common in the Black community. Am I holding that against Taseki? No, because she was a child. Um, I don't even think Krishan is holding it against Taseki at this point. But I think Zeus loves the you know they love this drama. They love this trauma. Zeus loves to exploit trauma. And one thing about Zeus, they're going to keep forcing Krishan Rock and Taseki to exploit this trauma. I don't know how this information got out. Maybe Krishan Rock was feeling some type of way because, you know, she was pregnant and she had this special needs child that slowed her down. And maybe she felt like her sister was taking her place on baddies. And maybe she was a little bit jealous of the fact that she wasn't able to do the things that she used to be able to do. And she wanted to bring her sister down. And she used this, this trauma, this, that her sister gave to her. She used it to bring her down. I think one thing that Krishan Rock wasn't expecting was for people to not have a tolerance for it. People don't really have a tolerance for this type of trauma. This is some very triggering trauma. And a lot of people, they don't want to face it because a lot of people have experienced it. A lot of people, this has happened to a lot of people, and maybe they have forgiven their family members or not. So they don't want to see this. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to face it. But I don't think I think Krishan she saw how much people were like, nah, we don't want to hear that. But the cat was already out the bag. She couldn't put it back in. She couldn't unring that bell once she, came at Taseki with these allegations. And these were such explosive, triggering allegations, such attention getting allegations, that Zeus was like, hold up, this is getting us a lot of views. Your trauma is getting us a lot of views. So even if you don't want to discuss it anymore, I think that was the only way Lemmy was willing to bring Krishan Rock back on Baddies, was if she was going to further exploit this triggering, disgusting trauma. One thing I will say is, I lost my train of thought, but one thing I will say is I kind of do, I appreciate the way her and Taseki are handling this, because it's clear that that Zeus wants Taseki and Krishan to be like Cain and Abel. They want one of them to destroy each other. I don't know which one it is. I'm not super familiar with the Cain and Abel story, but I know that one brother is jealous of the other brother and he takes his life. I think that they want this to happen with Krishan and Taseki. And Taseki, one thing about it, Taseki is not willing to face what she did. I think she is so ashamed of what she did that she is not willing to face it. And I think if she admits to this, it, that is just gonna cause the Zeus network to further exploit it. They're gonna be putting them in front of therapists, and they're gonna force them to exploit this trauma even further. It's gonna go on for years, possibly. I think at least another couple of years. I think they're gonna exploit this trauma for at least another couple of years. And I do think that they're gonna force Taseki to admit to this. And I do believe Krishan is telling the truth. I do believe she's telling the truth. I wish she would have never brought this up. I can't blame her for bringing it up. It is her truth. It's her truth. She has every right to bring it up. But I think this should have been brought up off camera with the family, with therapists, But another thing though, maybe these demons were eating Krishan up, Maybe every time she saw Taseki on TV, or maybe every time she was around Taseki, the fact that this trauma was unaddressed, maybe she couldn't get it out of her mind, because that is a thing. This type of trauma does stick with you lifelong sometimes. Maybe she couldn't get it out of her mind, and maybe she just had to get it out. And for that, I say I have nothing against her for bringing it up. The only thing that the only problem I have is that Zeus is going to force her to keep exploiting this in order for her to be on the show. They're not going to allow her to have any other storyline. She doesn't have any other storyline. Blueface doesn't want anything to do with her. She has a special needs child that requires a lot of attention, and I don't think Zeus cares to see her be a successful, loving mother. She's dating these people, these no names. This is really the only attention grabber that Zeus can exploit her for. And Lemmy is such a misery. He is such a misery that he does not care about exploiting people's traumas because he is just traumatized himself, it seems. Like Lemmy just looks like he looks unhealthy. He looks unhealthy mentally and physically. And I think because of his appearance and because of his status, besides his money, his personality, I think he wants to see other people burn and suffer. He is that kind of person. So I hope this is a lesson to other people. Keep your trauma off camera if you can. Keep it off social media unless you are willing to face people who will find joy in your misery, because he's finding joy in their misery. Nobody else is. None of the viewers want to really see this. None of the viewers want to see this. The viewers want to see Krishan and Taseki. We want to see them be a dynamic duo. We want to see them be the baddies Kardashians. You know, that's what I want to see anyway. I want to see them strive and thrive and be great. That's what I want to see. I want to see them be great. But Zeus does not want to see that because the CEO of Zeus, he is such a misery. He's a misery. And take this as a lesson. Be careful who you trauma dump to. Be careful. Because once you tell somebody something, I don't care how much you think you can trust them, they're going to tell somebody else. So be careful. If you got friends at school who you think are your friends, unless you want them to do something about your trauma or your essay or your A, tell a trusted adult. Be careful about especially the children. If you're a minor, or even if you're in college, or even if you're on the job, or even if you just have a regular friend group or whatever, be careful who you tell your business to. Tell your business to some confidential people who by law cannot tell other people your business, aka a therapist. Okay? There are very affordable options for therapy these days, and I really encourage everybody to find an affordable therapist. Even if you can only afford like one session every 3 months, that's 4 sessions a year. Even if you can only afford one session every 3 months, or one session a year, 2 sessions a year, something, just to get it out to somebody who's trusted, and they will keep it confidential, because Krishan, she's not going to be able to live this down. Taseki is going to be forced to further face this trauma that I know she is so ashamed of, and I know she is remorseful. I can tell she is remorseful. I can tell she is sorry, but she's just ashamed, and that's sad, because I'm pretty sure somebody did this to her, and it's just sad. So tell me what y'all think. Leave a comment, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Goodbye.